strong and creative in my direction, ever flowing, receptive. I give up to living up to society's fucked up Western traditions. I am both masculine and feminine, nurturing and courageous. And I can flip the switch to adapt to many situations because I am creation. And at that, I'm freed of society's obligations. I'm a man that don't believe in blues for boys and pink is for girls. Because we are colors and aspect that built this world. Men, it's okay to be soft and expressive. Don't allow these surface level women to fog your perspective on what it means to be a man.
Come on.
Because every man was born from the womb of a woman, and that energy will forever carry. Unaware of its power, until we find balance between the masculine and feminine. Energies that lie deeply, oh so deeply, within. The flavor profile of this team.
Sweet.
What's up, everybody? What's up? And can you hear me in the background? Can you hear me, Trip? Can you hear me? I guess so. What's up? This is your boy, Will the Third. Yes, sweet boy. This is episode 44. And I do have a guest, special guest. But before I get into that, I want to talk real quick just about this election. Trump, you lost, bitch, and you can pack your shit and get out of the people's house. It finally came in today, but 306 to 233, I don't give a fuck about either one of these motherfuckers, but I just need Trump out of the motherfucking White House because this motherfucker is getting on my nerves. Off of that, I want to bring in a guest that I just started recently following and just probably in the past month or so, and really fucked with what he speaks and what he's all about, the energy that he gives and all of the things. And the video that you just saw earlier was from the Hippie Hideout from WFT. Oh God, I am fucking up y'all acronyms, but we'll get back to that. That Hippie Hideout. But let me go ahead and bring none other than the artist, healer, vegan, all of the things and etc. and above and beyond, in titles that I don't even know. But he's going to tell us all the things of what he has going on, how he came to get into what he's into. And I'm done rambling. TripnosisTheGod.
What's good? What's good? Yo, that intro music, I had like you had me low key like hype back here. I'm like, all right, hold on.
You know, everybody tell me that. I mean, they be saying that music does get me hyped still.
Oh, right, right quick.
I'm still not tired of it yet, so I can still fuck with it. And when I get tired of it, I'm gonna get rid of it. I'm gonna scrap that shit.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But speaking of all of that, let's talk first about your video clip in the beginning. Tell us a little bit about that spoken word you gave.
Well, thank you for sharing that. Like, I don't know if you could see me like in the backstage when that's playing. That's probably one of my that's probably one of the pieces I'm probably most like I love the most for some reason, just because I felt like it carries such an important message. That clip was at it's WTF. So good. We can bring it back real quick. You know what I'm saying? It's WTF, but we the future.
Sorry, y'all. Sorry,
yeah, it was
I love y'all.
It was their Hippie Hideout. You know, I was blessed with the opportunity to headline after, you know, stepping into my poetry for the past like 3 months, which is pretty interesting. Because before COVID, I really wasn't tapping in like that. And then once they started doing events again, I kind of told myself like, all right, we're gonna actually like do this. Like we're gonna like do it. You know what I mean? Like you're gonna show up every time. And you know, and that kind of paid off. They blessed me with that opportunity to share that piece. And that piece in itself is called Pressures of Being a Man. That piece was inspired by my ex who wrote a poem called Pressures. And she was talking about pressures of being a woman. So, you know, I was helping her doing all her like video and all that stuff. So I'm hearing this poem over and over and over. And I'm like, all right, that's cool. But like, this person's being a man too. You know what I mean? Like, let's talk about that. Like, let's have that conversation. You know what I mean? And so I took it to the pen and paper, and I started writing. And the reason why I say it's probably one of my favorite poems, because I feel like growing up in society, there's like this complete confusion. Like, first off, let's start by saying like suicide rates among men are much higher than women. And I feel like that has a lot to do with the things that I talk about in my poem. Those pressures on, as a man, us feeling, or, you know, kind of being programmed to believe, all right, you have to be a certain way. You have to uphold a certain like title, you know, you got to be strong, you know what I'm saying? Stop crying, stop that shit, you know, like man up, you know what I'm saying? Like all them little things that are told to us that you know, it ain't kind of like, it ain't like shit, but then when you actually really think about it, it's just like, damn, like that's actually like deep shit that really fucked me up, you know what I'm saying?
It's toxic as fuck.
Exactly, because we grow up to feel like we have to be this like alpha male, and it's just like, if people really understood that both divine masculine and feminine, both energy lies within each and every one of us. You know what I'm saying? The same way, you know, darkness and light, hot and cold, it's all part of the same thing. You know what I'm saying? It all exists in the same thing. You know what I'm saying? There's a positive, you know, the whole positive and negative electron, whatever the hell that science is, you know what I'm saying, that I don't know and I don't care about. But it just kind of like breaks it down a little bit. You know what I mean? It's all the same shit. You know what I'm saying? So within us. I feel like it is important, especially for men, to really, especially during these times where like it's calling for us to be more nurturing. It's calling for us to be more loving, to be more kind. You know what I'm saying? To kind of tone it down a little bit. And I think it's important to find that balance and to kind of show up 100%. Because if you're being more of one thing and that's another, you know, there's an imbalance. When you find that balance, you get to show up as your most authentic self, because everything that is and isn't God is both masculine and feminine. You know what I'm saying? Like both nurturing and courageous. You know what I'm saying? It's one of those things. If you look at what he's created, he didn't only create things that are soft.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? He created things that are kind of hard and stern as well. It's kind of all the same thing.
So speaking of that, TripnosisTheGod and all of this. First, you said I got a lot of questions off this. So, what do you identify as? Are you straight, bisexual, gay?
It's an interesting conversation because I identify myself simply as just like I'm just a human being, and I just personally think that I'm against the divide on all types of levels, and I feel like kind of we grew up to normalize these things, like these labels we wear. And it's just like, if you really realize it, these labels we wear aren't for us. They ain't for you, because you know what you are. Right. You know, so why you need to put yourself in the box? You know what I'm saying? Like you know what you represent. So I feel like I live a lot on like the spiritual realm rather than like the physical realm. So like I'm just like a human being. I'm a free spirit, and I'm just flowing. And you know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, I show up as I am. I have. It's so funny. If I had to answer that, I'd say, because I've been told this before, because I have 3 gay brothers and a bunch of gay friends. They're just like, bro, you're gay by association. I'm like,
honorary gay.
I'm like, you know what I'm saying? I am like Eminem said, I am whatever you say I am. At the end of the day, we are different in the eyes of every person who meets us. So I'm just like, I know who I am. You know what I'm saying? Who I am to you, let that be whatever you want it to be. You know what I'm saying? Build your own picture, build your own image, and by all means, just come at me with respect, and we good. You know what I'm saying? It's simple. Like,
so pretty much you can think whatever you want about me, just respect me and don't come at me with no food.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Like, and just respect that and let it be. And it took like the reason why I like to say that is I say that more to strengthen the masculinity in me, and kind of to show a more open side to like other men and people, where it's just like someone who wasn't sure about themselves, it'd be hard for them to not say, I'm straight, I'm heterosexual, you know what I mean? But I don't care about that shit, bro. I literally don't care about that shit, bro. Like literally I'm just like a human fucking being, you know what I'm saying? And like I sleep with women, you know what I'm saying? But that don't matter. You know what I'm saying? It don't matter. If one day I decided like, oh shit, like let me kind of like see what this is about. You know what I'm saying? That don't define me anyways. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just about just being authentically you. You know what I'm saying? And just because I just think it's bullshit. Like with my brothers, I've had so many people come up like, oh, so are they gay? And I'm just like, why does that matter? Like, why is that a question you ask me if they gay? If it looks like it, walks like it, like let that be what you want it to be. You know what I'm saying? But like, why does, all right, yeah, yes, no. Now what you gonna do with that information? Shit, nothing. You ain't gonna do nothing with it. So it's just like, it's so pointless, but it's so normalized.
It's just gonna be a oh.
You said what?
Oh, there is, after you answer the question, it's just gonna be a oh. Okay, now they have that information.
Exactly, and it's so dumb, and I'm really about breaking these down because it's from these little ways that the system has divided us in such the smallest ways. You could think on the big scale, politics, and then you could think on small ways just like this: religion, sex, you know, sexuality. It's just all these little things where it's just like the more we could break something apart, the more space there is for disagreement. The more space there is for friction, the more space there is to battle. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, and they just keep breaking us apart. You know what I'm saying? And keep breaking us apart so we can keep fighting each other. And it's just like, nah, just remove the separation because there ain't none. You know what I mean?
So you don't believe no borders, none of that, right?
Yeah, I don't believe. I just believe, like, bro, like at the end of the day, I see this earth. You know what I'm saying? That we all reside in. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like nobody owns this shit. You know what I'm saying? Nobody owns this shit. So it's like, you know, but you know, in this like 3D way of living in the matrix, you know what I'm saying? There's like these rules and shit, and there's like these ideas where it's just like, all right, there's these people who are greater than me, and you know, it's up to them on how, you know, whether I thrive or whether I suffer. And it's just like, dude, it ain't got nothing to do with shit. Like literally, bro.
I totally agree with that. But I mean, do you think even if this system, like just use America for a perfect example, the systems and checks and balances and the government, all this, what we have set in place, the structure of a country, even in tribes and villages, there's going to be a chief. There's going to be elders. There's going to be people that's leading. Because human beings need to be, they're gonna be led. They crave leadership and they crave anarchy at the same time. It's like they need leadership. So the earth belongs to no one. It's all of ours to inhabit together. But do you feel like there should be no checks and balances, no hierarchy of?
I mean, honestly, I feel like there's just a way of doing things because I can only speak from my perspective in my life. You know what I'm saying? I am the leader, and as well, like I'm both a teacher and student, so I can allow myself to be led. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like it's just kind of about intention, and if you just think about on the system that is created and that we do follow, and where and how it began, and what the intention was behind it, that's the problem. That's why it's like something I'm against, because you could rewrite the whole entire system, you know what I'm saying? And people can, you know, live into their own power, and leaders could lead and follow, you know what I'm saying? That now there really isn't so much of like, oh, this higher person, like you're a leader, like you're above me, like, you know, you can tell me what's best for my life, you know what I'm saying? It's about, because if you look at a real leader isn't going to tell you how to do something. This is the way you do it. You know what I'm saying? It's going to lead by example, and it's like these are what our ideals are and stuff like that. Now you implement it in the best way that you could, and that's most authentic to you. You know what I'm saying? Just be a good person. You know what I'm saying? And whatever that means to you. So I feel like it's a conversation because it's almost like it's what we're dealing with, and that's like the reality. There is a system, and the way we were programmed and the way we grew up is to believe that, you know, time and time again, there's always leaders, there's always different, there's always separation. But like I said, I speak from a higher place, and the place I speak from is just everything's interconnected, everything's one. You know what I'm saying? And everything's a part of each other, and that's just like how I live my life, where I'm just like, I live in the reality of that which is around me right now, because anything outside of my vision does not exist. And that's being real. It's like a video game. You know what I'm saying? Once you walk through that door, you know what I'm saying, that where you were, it don't exist no more. The only thing is that level. You know what I'm saying? And that's pretty much what it is. This is what it is. Like, that's all it is right now.
I could segue many ways from that, but I'm going to segue this way, the most uncomfortable way, right here. Politics, abolition, and destroying the fucking system. I was just going to skim this at the end, but since I popped this up because you said you ain't focused on none of this shit. So I just want to get your thoughts on it. This has been huge shit, and I opened this show addressing this because I know it's a thing.
Let me tell you that I almost told you to not even touch on this, but I'm like, you know what? I'm like, whatever. Let's you know.
I have to now. You pretty much slandered it and slaughtered it all to the pit. So I'm gonna just say, how do you feel about all of this election, Joe Biden, Trump, the system that we living through right now, the racist system, all of it?
The system is fucked up. And it kills me to see how I'm like trying to consider what my God. I got to be very mindful on how I articulate myself on this topic.
Take your time.
I just think it's very interesting to feel like, as people, you know what I'm saying, we continue to be and do the things that they want us to be and do. And when I say that, I say it in the sense of be dependent on them, to feel like one side is for us, one side's not for us. You know what I'm saying? And for me, the system's not built for us, period. Period. Not you, not me, like not nobody. You know what I'm saying? It's built for the people who are up there playing around with them strings. You know what I'm saying? That's who it benefits. So to me, I'm just like, we out here putting all our energy into this thing. You know what I'm saying? This system that's forcing us to fight each other. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like if we took that same energy and diverted like into, say, like, all right, all these changes this list of things that I want this person to do. You know what I'm saying? And this list of things that I want this person not to, let me embody that. Let me be that, because believe it or not, no matter who had won, racism is still gonna be here. How long ago did they pass gay marriage? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Hate crimes, that's still a thing. Why? Because it don't start with a system. It don't start with it don't start with the laws. It don't start with none of that shit. It starts with us. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, for me personally, the way I say it, it's like, I don't, you know, people could hate me for what they want. I don't vote. I don't tap into that, because I personally believe it's not my purpose here. The way I inspire, the way I implement change is by doing what I do creatively. You know what I'm saying? By tapping into the minds and the spirits of people to really get them to know what their true power is. You know what I'm saying? Now, by all means, do I hate or, you know, look down on anybody who does know? Because if that is your purpose, if you are educating yourself in that, then I trust that the good people who are working to rewrite that system, I have faith that those good people are taking the right steps. You know what I'm saying? Because that's their field. You know what I'm saying? Not everybody's a warrior. You know what I'm saying? Not everybody in the army's out there in the back. You know what I'm saying? So that's not me. I know my place, and I battled it because I dealt with society and them making me feel bad. Like, damn, shit, I like, dude, and until I really accepted the fact, like, bro, like that's not my place, and people could feel the way they want about it. That's something that you got to talk amongst yourself why you feel some type of way. Because if there's an emotional attachment you have to this, then maybe you should reevaluate that, because that's toxic for your being, for your mentality, for your psyche, for your spirit, because that energy could be channeled and utilized in a different way that's more effective, starting with yourself and starting with the community around you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like that's where true change happens. And that's what they want us to do. They want us to focus on a system so we can believe that this is the way change is made, because they don't want us to remember the power that we have to be that change. I mean, come on, the people outweigh any politician, any house of government. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, shit, they know that. So what they gonna do? They gonna say, all right, bet, divide and conquer. You know what I'm saying? Well, how could we get them? Because the only way we could win is if we turn them on themselves.
I'm gonna tell you what happened. Now we're gonna get to that, but now see, the time the people had the opportunity to take back this motherfucking country, destroy the system, to break all this shit down and rewrite shit how we wanted it to do, was when the whole George Floyd and the whole Breonna Taylor first kicked off. We were all in the streets. I was out in the streets. It was every damn day. It was protesting. COVID was at its highest peak. Wasn't a motherfucker at work. No. So we had time to protest and organize and do shit like that. So that's what we were doing. But then people got tired of doing it. I mean, not everybody, because let's just use Portland, Oregon, for an example. Those bitches are still protesting to this day. You can Google it. And they have not stopped protesting every single day since this George Floyd shit started. And that's real. That's why they motherfucking ass just decriminalize shrooms down there, because they need to get high. They need to get on another plane because they out there putting in the work.
Yes,
Much love to Portland.
Yes,
I need to take a trip. But when we left off of that momentum and power we had, that's when I was like, okay, fuck. Now we have to go back to the system that I know my ancestors have died and fought for, slaughtered and beat, just to have the right to vote, not just here in Ocoee, all over this fucking country. So I felt it was even if I hate this system, I'm all for abolition. Look at my page, it's all of that. But the least I could do for me and my ancestor, my real story, my great aunt is the voters registrate in Alabama. She's the first one to do it. She did it when Martin Luther King went up there in Selma, Alabama for the Bloody Sunday, when all that they marched across the Selma Bridge, all of that. She was there doing all that shit. So she's been that fucking voter registrate since the fucking 60s. And she's still alive doing that shit. So for people like that, that's why I do it. Now, I was wanting us to tear this shit down, but we didn't. And I was like, okay, I can't do this shit alone. But so we still, this is not going to get better because Biden won. Trump is not the source of the problem. As you see, he just called out all of the hate that America had.
He magnified it.
Yes, he just, you see, they won too. They wanted them too. So that's all Trump did. So I get you. When you said your perspective on voting, I respect that. And you, right, maybe it's not your purpose. It's not your fight. It's not you helping and healing the world in another way. That's you're comfortable with that. And I respect that. But now we're going to pop back up to the one that I wanted to open with. And that's spirituality, God, and magic. Now, this is a little hot topic here.
I can let it out. That was yeah, we got that out the way. Because I honestly, I was telling my god sister, I'm like, this is one of the things, and like, I don't know. I was like, I'm very like strong on like what I believe in. She's just like, just be mindful what you say. Just think about it, because the emotional attachment people have to it. And I'm like,
Well,
shout out to my uncle.
Shout out,
Yes, but yeah, so on to the next topic.
So I wanted to get into spirituality, God, and magic, because first I seen on the full moon that you said full moon calls for wizardry, and I loved that post. I had to dig deeper, and stuff like this I live. But do you have any explanation? What do you believe? I know you. What are you? I know you're on the spiritual realm, and I'm not trying to classify you as any religion. But
no, I am a collective of like things that I've learned and picked up. I mean, I grew up Catholic. You know what I'm saying? Like forced to go to like do my communion and shit. Really bad experience. I did my communion, and you're supposed to wet your lips with the wine, right? So I'm like little old jit, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, and I drank the wine, and I literally almost fucking threw up. I ran to the back. I took the bread and all that shit. I went to the back of the thing and I spit all that shit out and I put it in like a little thing behind a chair and I'm like, hell no.
See, they didn't trust us in the black church. They gave us grapefruit juice because they knew we was gonna take a sip.
Everyone's like, yeah, everyone's like, I thought it was gonna be great. I'm like, nah, it was one, and that's why to this day I'm warming up to sweet wines. But anything like bitter, I'm just like, hell no, that's church wine. I don't want it. I got PTSD. But so I grew up Catholic and all that, and I guess it took like for me, I could just probably just say a heartbreak, honestly, because that's like the surface level thing that I realized like made me actually start like thinking a little deeper. I just started asking myself like tough questions, like who was God really? You know what I'm saying? And like just kind of all the questions I feel like a lot of people ask, especially when you're struggling. I'm like, all right, bet, how am I going through this? You know what I'm saying? Like, how am I in this situation? You know what I'm saying? Like, how am I struggling? How am I hurting this much? Like, you know what I'm saying? If there's like this image of God of what, you know, I was taught to believe, I'm like, if there's this thing like that, then like, I don't understand. Like, I pray and pray, and I mean, ain't nothing really happening. It just still sucks. So I ain't get it. So I just started asking deeper questions, started opening up myself more, and I became aware of different religions, from Santeria, the Yoruba religion, to Sanse, which is something else very similar, and then astrology. And I just started to realize like how much everything was alike. You know what I'm saying?
Pause, stop. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but please stop right fucking there. You're talking, I'm totally agreeing with everything you're saying. I'm like, damn, this is me. Damn, this is me. This is me. This is because I grew up in the church, parents, preachers, all of that. And I was like, this is a heartbreak from that. I'm like, damn, I'm struggling. Why? Like, I'm doing, but it's not happening. But then when I study world religions, different religions, a little bit of magic, and even I've read shit, the Pendants of the Church of Satan, which I should get into that deeper into another episode, because people have a wrong perception of that. But I've looked into all of these things, and a lot of them, even all of them, believe most of the same shit, with just a different variation from your culture and walk of life. But I'm just so glad you said that, because continue, sir. I'm so sorry. Trip.
No, but yeah, so I realized like everything kind of was the same. So then, all right, so then it went from like this, like, all right, there's these similarities. So like, what do I do with this information? Because that don't really change nothing for me, because I still believe, or now more than anything, I'm like, all right, now I kind of like don't know what to believe, because it's just like, all right, they all the same. So what is this thing? And to me, it was just about like finding what was most comfortable with me. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I started to have like I would have dreams. I would have like premonitions. You know what I'm saying? And it always like I feel like spirit always came through when it came to like women. If they were like trying to do me dirty, bro, like spirit would say like, I got the tea right quick. Hold on, you know what I mean? But like that ass, and that's when I started to really click, because I'm just like, hold on, this happened, this bitch played me, this happened, like she did, and I'm just like, wait, hold on, like
it
this
shows you,
it's actually like coming through, you know what I'm saying? So then I start diving into that, and it's like I don't really even know exactly how I got to where I am, honestly. I just know that it just started like little things, you know, like little ripples started to strengthen faith and belief, and I started to realize that how metaphorical a lot of things in the Bible were. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Very like oh, like it's a fact, like, you know what I'm saying? And I just started, and it's through experiences and small things that like strengthen my. All right, hold on, like there is something out there. You know what I'm saying? All right, there is these spirit guys. There are these things I've seen. I've been to like drumming circles. You know, I've seen possessions. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like so I see this stuff. So I'm like, I bet like that's kind of crazy, but okay, like, is you for real? You know what I mean? Like yo, like, you know what I mean? But
that's happening right now.
Yeah,
that's really happening.
But I've seen a lot of things like that, and you know, I just started like, it was interesting. I started getting into tarot. One of the main people in my life was this good friend of mine named Kevin. It was funny. Back in the day, I used to sell weed, and I don't sell weed anymore. But I was like back in there, I was like a teenager and shit.
That was my cue. Hold on.
That was you said weed. And so there was this dude, one of my brother's friends, that would always cop weed from me, right? And I never pay mind him. He'd just come, get the weed, just nothing. You know, it was always like his energy always seemed very like dark, and it was just we never. It was just like I was just giving you weed. You know what I mean?
Right.
Literally, just one day he came to get weed, and I think he probably said something. He was more lively, more vibrant, more like, and I'm like, all right, like what's good? I think I started talking about the weed or something like that, and then he's like, oh, I want to smoke. I'm like, all right, babe, like come inside, like we'll break it up. You know what I'm saying? We start rolling up, and he starts going in about astrology and Santeria, and talks about like, and then like from that to like the Bible and how like, you know, with each saint and then with each sign and like, you know, how everything, and that's what really opened up my mind. And I'm like, oh shit. And he would tell me like, oh, I should get into tarot. And I didn't really know much about anything. I was just being a student. So I'm like, all right, bet, like I'm a believe everything with a grain of salt. You know what I'm saying? Right. But I'm going to allow myself to like filter, to receive this information and filter it and allow what sticks to stick. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then as I'm getting to where I am, more things have stuck, more things have confirmed other things. You know what I'm saying? And now I'm in a place where I can speak like right now where I am. I believe in God is energy. I feel like God is a high vibrational being, you know, something that we are all part of. I feel like we are all gods, we are all creators, you know what I'm saying? And that falls into the masculinity and femininity of things. Like all of that resides within us. I am as much as you are of me, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like we are all the same thing. So now where I am now, it's like I believe in energy, and I believe that we all have abilities. You know what I'm saying? We all, you know, have clairvoyant ability, psychic ability. It's just about tapping into decalcifying our pineal gland. Because if you think about it, like you talk about, we constantly on screens, we're constantly focused. Our attention throughout our entire life is diverted outside.
Yeah.
For not for 1 second, nowhere are they telling us to sit with yourself, look and see yourself. Buddhism and Hinduism, they really talk about that. So honestly, I really started sticking with like Buddhism, you know, for a little bit, because it was about being the change, about being the channel, about like being everything. You know what I'm saying? Like God is, like they say, God is that. God is I am that I am. You know what I'm saying? You know when Moses,
I am that I am.
Yeah, exactly. You know because I am everything that
everything.
Is. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like it's about tapping into that, and that's why I went from Tripnosis the Creator to Tripnosis the God, and then I was like dabbling with someone, and she would just be like, "Oh, you know," she was like very religious, like, "Oh, you calling yourself a God?"
People don't like that.
And then just me being me, I'm like, "All right, babe, I'll please let me put Creator." Good thing nobody ever take my name, but then I'm like, "Nah, hold on, like."
You are.
You know so Tripnosis the God, like that's who I am. That's who you are. You know what I'm saying? Will the third, the God. So, you know what I'm saying? Like that. And it's so powerful to realize in the Bible, the kingdom of God lies with each and every one of us, to actually realize that kingdom is within us. You know what I'm saying? And maybe in that realization, people will really treat their body like their temple. You know what I'm saying? Treat themselves like the channel that they are, you know, treat themselves like they would treat God. You know what I'm saying? Like to really pour that love into yourself, because that is what we are. You know what I'm saying? We are love, and when we share that, you know what I'm saying? It like leaves a ripple effect, and whether people feel it in a second, in that very moment, people think about it. You know, it will register. It's about kind of like changing the square. I think we are really taught to really hate. Growing up, they tell us a lot about like who not to like. It's just like small things that keep us from like the truth. Like, imagine if we were just told like, love thy neighbor. And that was just like, and that, let's say that was the Bible verse that, right?
That's it.
That was it. That, you know what I'm saying? If that was it, if that's what they preach at the church, you know what I'm saying? Love thy neighbor. That this world would be so different. You know what I'm saying? Especially America. You know what I'm saying? But
especially America.
So, you know, I really started just tapping into stuff. And then, you know, I realized that I, you know, would start like feeling certain things. The more that I kind of meditated some more, really tapped into myself, really sat with myself, really started to like try to listen. Like, let me sit still, because we're always in motion. We're always moving. We can never sit still. You know what I'm saying? And the importance of just sitting still with yourself, with your own mind, it gives you the opportunity to cycle through your thoughts and see what is mine and what is not. What am I carrying from yesterday? You know what I'm saying? Like, what is just from today? What am I carrying from a year ago, 2 years ago? But you never have, a lot of people don't give themselves the chance to have that conversation with themselves because they're always looking to be stimulated by something, alcohol, drugs, sex, you know what I'm saying? Like movies, like, you know, overindulging and suffocating themselves in work, you know what I'm saying? That they don't give themselves the chance to heal. We are all wounded in some way, you know what I'm saying? And it's about kind of tapping into that God within us to start healing, you know, to really start healing and stop asking for the healing, but becoming the healing, and just allowing yourself to be open to healers and people who could actually help you take yourself to the next level. Because it's such a, you know, I feel like everybody's just running away from themselves. You know what I'm saying? When it's just like, yo, let's go, Greg. Running away from themselves instead of kind of really tapping into that godness that is all of us. And that's why I do my part. And I started reading tarot. I would start feeling things from people, like I was saying. And I would just like, there was times where I'd just start having conversations and they'd stop me. Like, I was actually having this conversation yesterday. I'd have a conversation with my homies and then they're just like, bro, what the fuck? Like, I was just thinking about that. Like, and then I'm just like,
and
like,
see,
all right, bet. Like,
take that as coincidence.
And I'm just like, okay, like, all right, like, I don't even know, you know, like, they just killed my vibe. I'm just, because I'm not thinking nothing of it, you know what I'm saying? I'm not thinking like I'm fucking like picking up some shit and telling you some shit. I just feel like I'm talking shit, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like that's all it is.
Now, speaking of all of that, leading into what you just said, this gets me into the Great Awakening, which I feel we are in. It's happening right now.
It's such a beautiful time. Oh my God! Among all this craziness that's happening, bro, like, you don't understand. And this is I don't know, call it like a metaphor. I don't know what you want to call it, whatever. But that I like to use, where I'm just like, all right, I feel like this period is similar to the crucifixion of Jesus. If we want to talk about biblical times, you know what I'm saying? It was something that was dark. It was something that was scary. It was something that, you know what I'm saying, a lot of people were involved in, but it was led by a few, you know what I'm saying? And it's just one of those things where, but came the death of that. And with every blessing until then, so much beautiful things. And there was so much light that came out of it. Right. And I feel like right now we are in that. We're right now. You know what I'm saying? He ain't died yet. We in the cross right now. He's on the cross. You know what I'm saying? He ain't died yet. But it's just like things are shaking up and they gonna get a little dark.
Darker.
But before it gets lighter. But if you just think about how, like, if you think about like how, in many ways, how the world has came together, how people are becoming kind of, how these conversations we are having right now, like a year ago, we weren't really having these conversations.
No, at all.
Small things. It's just like we are ascending. You know what I'm saying?
And how you said you was a Catholic, and then you was like, let me just see what everything else is about. The same thing happened to me. Like, I know a lot of people have had this exact same experiences. Like, you know what? This wasn't working for me. Most of this shit is the same. So it's all the same. And we just are all tapped into this energy now that we're like, oh, bitch, wait, okay. Let's take this blinder off.
Let's start taking responsibility for real. You know what I'm saying? Because one thing I couldn't stand, you know, kind of like going back to this real quick, about like, you know, religion is, I would see people saying, I'm not worthy of God's love or worth. And I'm just like, the fuck
why
you
not?
mean? Like, who the hell is putting that shit in your head to tell you you're worthy of everything that is? You know what I'm saying? You are worthy because you are God. You know what I'm saying? You worthy of it all. You know what I'm saying? Don't feel like there is this higher man that's going to make you feel smaller, because if anything, God wants you to rise up. God doesn't want you to praise him like a dictator, praise him like he's above you. No, that's not, that to me, that's not God. God, you stand right beside him, and he reminds you that that's where you stand. You know what I'm saying? So that's why when I see shit like that, I'm just like, bro, like, that's your God? Because your God don't sound like a God. You sound like a dark. You know what I'm saying? Someone that wants you to praise down on his feet. Oh, I'm not worried yet. Fuck out of here. You know what I mean? Like, nah, it made no sense. But yeah, I think right now it's a beautiful time because we're becoming aware of a lot of things. The world is being shooken up. There's the collective consciousness in itself is rising. There's a lot of people tapping into their truth. There's a lot of the younger generation, a lot of kids that now their parents are allowing them to tap into their truth by reducing meds, reducing these things that suppressed us. You know what I'm saying? That suppressed our creativity, that suppressed our spirituality, that suppressed our freedom, from pills to like all these other things, to these labels, to things that they tell us, oh, you're this, you're that, so you can't be this or that. You know what I'm saying? We're living exactly. And even kids are like realizing, I'm gifted, I got power, I can do this, I can be this. And the parents are, allowing their kids that freedom to discover themselves. So it's like right now, literally we are shifting. I say it in one of my poems, like we're shifting from like the 3 to 4 and at least to the 5th dimension right now, and where the matrix no longer exists. This idea of like feeling like, all right, we need to consume and we need to constantly stimulate ourselves. I feel like a lot of that stuff is ruined. People are finding peace and stillness now, and peace and meditation. You know what I'm saying? And I just feel like I see through the pains that are happening, because if you think about the media, it's a weapon of disarmament. So you know what I'm saying? They want to keep us against each other. So if you think about that, they ain't never going to tell us anything good. And if they do, it's followed by something bad. You know what I'm saying? Because the longer they could keep us in fear, the longer they could keep us divided. When you're afraid, you're vulnerable. So when they scare you, they make you vulnerable. And then, we make these people both our heroes and our villains. They fuck our life up, and then they create a solution to make it seem like they're making it better. And they're just not. It's just like, bro, like you literally, like you created the problem. You punch me in my eye, and then you're gonna say, let me put like makeup over it a little bit. Like you punch me in my eye regardless of whether you know what I'm saying? Like you're still the problem. You know what I'm saying? It really makes no sense to me, bro. But
and you said us coming up to a higher collective consciousness. Now that is we all are a part of the same energy. God is an energy, a non-gender having energy. He has no gender. It has no gender. And we're all tapped to frequencies, all these things. You release something here. The spiritual expressions.
Yes, that right there.
Talk about that a little bit.
Before we get to that, I want to show you something about magic right quick, all right?
This is what I like.
I realize you showed that picture, and we ain't never really even discussed it, but that's cool. It's all right.
Let's do that. Ladies and gentlemen, we're finna get some dope shit.
All right, so I actually, this moment right here, right now, on this fucking podcast, I want to show you how I made this shit fucking happen, bro. It's kind of crazy because I really wasn't thinking about it till probably just the other day. And I'm like, wait, hold on, I'm being on a podcast. And I'm like, wait, didn't I say that?
Come on, show me the magic. I'm feeling it.
Yo, hold up. Like, dude, you have no, I was actually like tripping myself out, bro. Like, I'm like, oh. Come on, don't do me like this. I got it's in here.
Don't worry. Take your time.
I had it ready because I knew it was something that I wanted to do. I knew it was something that I wanted to show y'all.
And see, all this relates. This is real good. The frequencies. all of this, because in that video, while he's looking for that, I'm gonna play this. Let him get that. Hold on, while you looking, I'm gonna play for the people that just joined, because I see. I'm gonna play this.
But I'll be strong and creative in my direction, ever flowing, receptive. I give up to living up to society's fucked up Western traditions. I am both masculine and feminine, nurturing and courageous. And I can flip the switch to adapt to many situations because I am creation. And at that, I'm free of society's obligations. I'm a man that don't believe in blues for boys and pink is for girls, because we are colors and aspect that built this world. Men, it's okay to be soft and expressive. Don't allow these surface level women to fog your perspective on what it means to be a man.
Come on.
Because every man was born from the womb of a woman, and that energy will forever carry. Unaware of its power, to find balance between the masculine and feminine. Energies that lie deeply, oh so deeply, within.
And keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, we are streaming live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. So yes, please, did you find it?
Oh, I found it. All right. So if you look, all right. So in the beginning of November, me and one of my business partners, we were talking about, all right, 60-day plan. How we gonna close out the year? You know what I'm saying? Let's start assessing that. So I started writing down within the 60 days things that I want to accomplish. After the manifestation of this, I'm gonna be a little more specific to, you know what I'm saying, to like really 100% cater. But this was in the beginning of November, before you reached out to me, reached anything. Right here it says interviewed on a podcast. So when I talk about magic and when I talk about that we are powerful beings, our words are so powerful. When we affirm, we set it in stone. You know what I'm saying? Like they say, you know what I'm saying? You could curse on. There's all these sayings that I can't think of right now that talk about speaking and the power of the tongue. You know what I'm saying?
There's life and death in the power of the tongue.
Writing things down and knowing what you want and being clear and like being specific. Like there's so much power, and I'm so happy this happened, because I can like really, I've been saying this, you know what I'm saying? And I had a lot of things like this happen, but you know what I'm saying? They're in different books and stuff like that. But like for a recent thing, I'm happy this really worked out that way. So it just shows as proof in the pudding. Like, bro, when I'm sitting here and I'm telling my homies, bro, like write your shit down. Like I'm being for real, because there's power in that, bro. Like write your shit down. Like, well, what is it you want to do? What is it you want to see? What is it you want to manifest? What you want to become? You know what I'm saying? What do you want to learn in the next 60 days? Write that down. Be that.
Write it down.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yes. Like
write it down.
It's so important, because we're letting it out. You know what I'm saying? You're letting it out. You're putting it into the universe. And that's just one of the things, you know, I said, like, I'm gonna be on a podcast, and literally there's a few things on here that I can see are playing out. Haven't manifested, but I can see that they're playing out already, like getting myself there. And I'm just like, oh shit, like that's like low key, high key crazy, because even for me, spirit surprises me all the time. I don't sit here like I'm hot and mighty and I know everything, you know what I'm saying? Because even the shit that I believe, I still create some space for it to be false. Mm-hmm. Why? Because I disassociate myself emotionally with what I believe, so that way when someone if someone's against it, like it ain't a fight. I'm like, all right, I can listen to what they're saying and either take what resonates, leave the rest, you know what I'm saying? But I'm always open to learning and allowing things to make sense to me, and not just like, all right, this is what I believe in, so now I can't do that. You know what I'm saying? But that's why I'm always open to it.
And I'm glad you showed that, because it shows that I am in alignment as well with the plan of the greater purpose. Because for me to listen to that inkling to, let me click on this and see what he's talking about. And I was laying in bed just watching that video. I was like, damn, okay, let me hit him. As soon as I finished watching it, I hit you up. I was like, let me hit him up and see what's happening. And so all of that is just plan.
It's and faith and just trust. When you write these, have faith that you could do something, that you could be something, that you can, you know what I'm saying, deal with the things that you're growing through, like I like to say, and grow through them. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like I've gotten to a place, honestly, where I just see everybody suffering by choice, bro. And and to be there, that's what's kind of sad, and that's what's kind of like hurts to see, because it's like I can't save these people. I can't even heal these people. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's something that they got to get there. You know what I'm saying? They got to take themselves to the level where the healing can be able to happen. You know what I'm saying? Where it could happen. And, you know, like, exactly. You got to find that balance, you know, connect to, you know what I'm saying? Like, when there's that balance, we can flow. Energy can flow through us. You know what I mean? That's honestly the power and the great benefits of meditating, because it allows you to become connected to that source energy. It allows you to audit yourself. But yeah, that's writing things down. Honestly, it's been one of like I've always written shit down since I was a kid. I've always suppressed my emotions. This is why I'm really, you know, I know we were gonna get into there was probably gonna be another topic we're gonna get into, but I tend to just like speak on what I feel called to. But you know, I would just take the time to touch on this. You see, like, because growing up, all I did was write things down. I dealt with a lot of depression. I dealt with a lot of anxiety. I dealt with like a lot. Like I almost didn't even like myself. You know what I'm saying? I had thoughts of suicide. You know what I'm saying? Like, and this is why that poem's so important to me. And this is why I'm here for the people, but I'm here for my brothers more than anything, because I've been there. I've held my shit down. You know what I'm saying? I cried behind closed doors. I tried to appear strong. And in the end, I just started to carry this weight, where there's several moments in my life where I was so sure I wanted to kill myself, but I just knew I wouldn't.
Right.
It's like, it's weird. I'm just like, yo, I want to fucking die, but I don't want to do it. Like, I don't really want to do it. Like, I'm too pussy to fucking do that. You know what I mean? Like, but like, I literally do. You know what I'm saying? And it took me having an outlet to release, and it helped for a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But even in my adulthood, that's when I realized I have suppressed it. I was dealing with suppressed depression. Because I still wasn't dealing with my emotions. I just found a better way to mask them, that I could be like, all right, I smoked weed. You know what I'm saying? So it was 9 and 9. In that moment, I didn't even realize what I was doing. I was just smoking weed because I wanted to smoke weed. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But then I realized, damn, when I'm not high, like, I'm really hyper emotional. And I realized, like, damn, like, I'm really. And I remember going to a great friend of mine. She's like a second mom. You know what I'm saying? Glenn, I fucking love you. And I said, Glenn, like, I really, you know, like, kind of crying. I'm like, yo, I think I have like suppressed depression. Like, I'd have moments, you know what I'm saying, where, you know, if I didn't smoke, I like feel sad about things. I'd feel alone. I'd feel like a lot of these things, you know what I'm saying? When I was dealing with like life. And it took me some time to really, I ended up in a relationship. And I didn't smoke that much, so there was a lot of like facing myself throughout that relationship.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
a lot of like facing me, because to be honest, I'm that person. Like, we could be in a full blown relationship and like we chilling. I'll smoke, like, it's just me, and I'm just in my own vibe, and I ain't worried about. So I'm just like, I ain't worried about nothing. I ain't worried about nothing around me. You know what I'm saying? So in that relationship, I was now really dealing with everything that was happening around me. I was dealing with all the great things, and then all the things that went wrong, I was dealing with them with a sober mind. Like, all right, like, what's the point? Like, how am I? And then I started to realize I feel this way. You know, it came from like my mom. I'm feeling this way. It came from my dad. I'm dealing with this because it came from how I grew up in the separation of my parents. You know what I'm saying? And that's what allowed me to really start doing the work, and then, you know, get myself to a place where I can actually be like, all right, I'm smoking weed because I want to smoke weed, like, for real. And not like because I'm suppressing. So it's just crazy to be in a place now where I see so many people suffering by choice. You know what I'm saying? I work downtown on the weekends. I work Friday, Saturday downtown, right in front of Casey's. Little ad right quick. Fuego Tacos, best tacos in Orlando. You know what I'm saying? Right on Central, 44 East Central. You feel me?
Central Florida, Orlando, bring your asses out.
Hello. And I see it all the time because I would see just sitting in one corner, we're in the same spot every day. I see a lot of the same people every night. And I see them trash, and you can see the people who are having a good time, and then you can see the people who are like running from the self. And I sit here and I'm like, this is why these conversations are important. So people could really start, the seeds could be planted, and people could really start digging and start asking themselves their questions. And so they could really be outside, enjoying outside for real, and really doing something that's intentional. You know,
not just going through the motions.
Exactly, and deliberate, because we are all creating. You know what I'm saying? Now, being a deliberate creator is different. Creating with intention, creating deliberately. This is what I want to create for me. We sit here and we manifest all the shit that's happening. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like regular shit. Like you ever go to the supermarket and go to get something, and it's something you need and something you really want, and it's the last one. You know what I'm saying? You think that's coincidence? Realistically, no, it was for you. You know what I'm saying? Like, take that. You know, so we're always manifesting, but it's about, you know what I'm saying, we manifest bad situations by not being mindful of what's affecting us. You know what I'm saying? Where we're spending most of our time, where our energy is going, what are the thoughts we're actually like thinking? Because we don't even really think about, as much as we're thinking, we don't ever think about what we're thinking about. You know what I'm saying?
I be thinking about what I'm thinking about it.
We don't ever think about, like, wait, hold on. Like, I be sitting here thinking, and I'm just like, the fuck? What the hell? Like, you really just set that in your head? Like, that don't make no type of sense, bro.
It's some crazy shit that be going on. So I want to also skim past these two because you do a lot. So first, I'm going to touch on real quick. We're going to talk about, you're an artist as well. Do you sell your pieces? First, let's talk about this. What do you call this piece?
Reaching for self. Yeah, that piece was created over a few months, honestly, but it was so funny because the name of it's Reaching for Self, so it shows the polarity, the blue and the yellow, sadness. You got masculine, feminine. You can see it as sadness and joy and happiness. So, but for me, there's a lot of ties that came into it after, because like I just channel what I do and it speaks to me later. But the first thought when creating this was blue, my sadness, reaching out for the part of me that knows that I deserve to be happy. You know, that I deserve that. You know what I'm saying? And it's just so funny because I started this painting while in a very toxic relationship.
Oh.
And it was
Did you start with the blue?
I probably did. You know what? I probably did, honestly. What I didn't even think about, but I probably did, honestly.
I would feel you would have.
Because so I started and I finished it a few months after we ended up breaking up. And it just was like powerful for me because I just feel like that's in my art. It's always deep. I consider my art sacred art, and I always want to tell a message. You know what I'm saying? And that was my story. Like, we constantly reaching for things outside of ourselves. Like, I'm gonna share I actually wrote a poem to it, and that's the caption. Since you pulled it up there, I'll actually read the caption for everybody on here. It's like those furthest from you see you clearer. Like no one sees you better than the you in the mirror. Reflecting on my suppression, my self-neglection, the ways of being I've never questioned. Why am I considering death? Why am I sexualizing people, but when I'm called out on it, I get death? Fighting this virus because I no longer can accept the surface level ways of man who rather have deep pockets than depth. Death is where I've traveled within myself to only be left unread by family, by society, because their lack of ability to comprehend that the surface is where things linger, but in the ground is where things rest. Bodies, roots, anxieties, the truth, the reasoning behind our way of thinking and the way we move out of your own way and remove the rose-colored glasses and realize you're mentally bruised, abused, a victim of yourself, a victim because you choose. Topical solutions because it's easier to forget than remember, harder to win than lose, easier to be the you they told you to than the you that's you. In some way, we're all suffering, but don't even realize it because that's what suppression will do. Until you find yourself at a crossroads, lost and confused, and all you have left to do is look within and reach for the hands that have always been reaching for you. You.
Ooh.
So that explains that poem. I mean, that painting.
That's the kind of shit that I was hoping for, that you did. The stunt I was hoping you pulled.
There you go.
I was hoping that stunt was pulled, and yes, you did it.
You manifested it.
Ow! And ladies and gentlemen, that is pretty much our show. It is so great, dude, to have you on here. I need to have you back on a panel that I'm really thinking of working up, because
hey, I'm all for it. I mean, we could talk all day because you know what I'm saying?
I could go but I do also want to mention one other thing before we go. We're gonna hit up Awake and Aware.
Yes,
we got to talk about that.
Let's
get that on.
Yes.
I ain't gonna leave before that.
Awake and Aware. Let it go. Awake and Aware is my baby. Awake and Aware is an embodiment of all that we have discussed, all that I am. Awake and Aware wasn't always what it is. I launched it in like 2016. I was around 2015. The seed was planted, and I was like trying to go through a bunch of ideas. Launched it in 2016. You know, it built some traction, had a whole different logo. I got the old logo actually tatted on my hand. So that's where like we kind of pay homage by using the same A's. But you know, it's something that really built traction, something that I originally was just like, all right, it's for artists. Like Awake and Aware for me was like, how can I be everything that I am and like do it at the same time? I'm a lot of things. I create in so many different ways, but like I said, like I don't like labels. I don't like being boxed. So I'm just like, how could I just like do me and like put it into something? So here's Awake and Aware, and it's funny because now, from what it was, became very successful. We interviewed a bunch of artists. You know, we used to do like an artist of the month, and it was fun and all that stuff. But it kind of really didn't feel so authentic to me. I felt like I was still trying to like I felt like I was trying, you know, too hard instead of just being. So I shut shit down. Got back to the drawing board, launched it. With all these big ideas, could not make any of those big ideas happen. So got discouraged, got into a relationship and was just like, all right, like I just kind of like stopped doing it. And then I'd say it's been probably, all right, so that was we're in 2020. So in 2019, it's when I started revamping, started refocusing on my brand. I knew my brand was unconsciousness big time. And it's so crazy the way spirit works. I can't tell you how I came up with the name Awake and Aware, but what I could tell you is the alignment. My brand is the brand, you know, speaking on what it is right now, it's a brand built on creativity, consciousness, healing, and connection. A brand that's reestablishing the connection between art and spirituality. It's crazy to say that if you look up the definition of consciousness, in that definition of consciousness, the definition of consciousness is a state of being awake and aware. When I peep game, I'm like, yo, that's fucking trippy. Like, wow, that's crazy. Like, yo, like, you know, it's crazy. And then I end up coming out with the owl, because I myself, I like to consider myself a bridge between both the spirit, like the spiritual realm, you know what I'm saying, and the physical realm. And I feel like my brand is a brand that desires to be that bridge. You know, we're sitting here talking about a brand that's about empowerment, about self-awareness, you know, taking back control, rewriting the script, rewiring your mind, talking about, you know what I'm saying, creativity and how we have been creatively programmed to be the way we are today. And the same way they use that to put us, like enslave us mentally, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of like taking back that power to free ourselves and to free the people through creativity. You know, the owl came up because I always hear an owl. I live in Lake Mary and there's like all this fucking forest and shit. And I'd always hear like an owl when I'm sitting there and I'm like, dang, you know, like the owl really like resonates with the brand and stuff like that. And I wanted to think on something that like spoke, like a symbol that spoke to you. You know what I'm saying? When you saw it, you felt something. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you know, this owl came through. I had a great artist, Saint Jose. Y'all go look him up, follow him, fuck with him. He's an amazing artist, dude. He came up with an idea after having a really long conversation with me. And I feel like this owl in itself, I feel like it does what I wanted to do in it. And it just speaks to the people, you know what I'm saying? About like, because even before launching, I was still trying to separate. I'm like, how could I get the cool kids? I've always been like the black sheep, the one kind of who believed in like, no one really believed in what I believed in. So I'm like, how could I get like the people who my ego was associating myself with? Like, how could I get them to see this? So I kept trying to like split myself up like I always did. Days before I launched the site, there was two separate. You went onto awakeningware.com and it gave you a choice on where you wanted to go. The Euphorium, which was like the shop here, then the temple, which was more of like all the spiritual stuff. And it was right before launch where I looked at it and I said, I wrote my homeboy, Jose, Gyro Media, another plug, holla him. I told him, I'm like, hey, like, what do you think if we just scrape this all and like put everything just on one, like it was just Awaken Aware and like this is what it was. You know, I feel like this, what's happening right now, I feel like this is like an outer representation of what I'm doing to myself. So I want to take that and I want to fix it. I want to rewire that because I'm done separating myself. I'm done trying to separate myself to show up for two different kinds of people, and rather than just being completely all that I am, which is a little bit of both. You know what I'm saying? And just like making it for those people. So I scraped it all. And, you know, I'm like, all right, this is what Awaken Aware is. Awaken Aware is spiritual. I tell people I'm more spiritual than anything. Awaken Aware is spiritual completely. If there's one thing anyone needs to know, and you know, Awaken Aware is spiritual. It's almost like an entity. You know what I'm saying? It's something that's here to heal, to help inspire, to help, you know, bring people together, to motivate people to keep going. Because it's not about looking at us as something greater. It's us showing up as something great to only reflect that to yourself, because that is exactly what you are. You know what I'm saying? That's why I say a brand is Awaken Aware is a brand for the people, you know, for all types of people, for the artists within everybody, because we are all creating. We are all artists. Every day that we are awake and we decide to make a decision, we are creating, we are manifesting. So we're talking about art on a surface level, but then we're also talking about art in like the depths of being a creator and using that power to create what we deeply desire. Our motto, innovate the moment, is just about that. Taking life by the balls and making shit happen. There is no gatekeeper. There is nobody that makes your dreams happen for you, no matter how it looks. You make it happen for yourself. You manifested that. You brought that person here. Your energy got that person to say yes. It's got everything to do with you. We pull in the people who could benefit us. You know what I'm saying? But it starts with us. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I want people to realize, because you are the gatekeeper. There is no gatekeeper to your dreams. You are that gatekeeper, because if you don't allow yourself to get there, then there is no gatekeeper. You take yourself to that level. You create that gatekeeper. That gatekeeper shows up, gives you the opportunity, and boom. You know what I'm saying? Show praise to the Most High, to the person in the flesh who showed up to give you that opportunity. But at the end of the day, it came from you. You made that happen. You know what I'm saying? So Awaken Aware is really about a brand that's allowing people to really tap into that and to really start to become open to energy, you know what I'm saying? And the power that we have to create, to make things happen, to heal, the clairvoyant abilities we have, you know, the power of energy. We sell everything from herbs to crystals, to apparel, hats, shirts. We are a lifestyle brand because it is a lifestyle that we're representing. It's not a thing. It's not like a wave we're riding right now. Like, no, this is a complete lifestyle. And I sometimes want to add a brand that's like sustainable, but we aren't. I'll be 100% honest. We aren't completely sustainable, but we have our goals to, you know, as we grow, to become as sustainable as possible, because we care about our mother. You know what I'm saying? And that's important to us. But yeah, that Awaken Aware is really just it. It's a vibe. It's a feeling. You know what I'm saying? It's an energy that when you see that owl, when you see that look, like you gonna remember it, and it's gonna stick. And when you really look at that owl, I want you to feel its healing, and I want you to feel its pull. You know what I'm saying? Because it's pulling you to yourself more than anything. You know what I mean? And that's like, that's everything to me. And I want to shout out to, you know what I'm saying, to Payne and everyone for We the Future who have helped me within the last, since we went on lockdown, have really helped me completely embody my artistry and, you know, to help me believe in that I could do this. I've been doing all this full time. Corona, you know, made my job fire me in a sense. But it was the biggest blessing because I didn't want to be there anyways. I didn't have the balls to quit. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? Just pulling up here and, you know, everyone from With the Future and Brandon giving me the opportunity to prove myself that I can actually like do this, that I can become something, that my artistry does resonate with people, and there are people who get me and who get it. You know what I'm saying? And it's been a blessing. You know what I'm saying? You can shop at www.awakenaware.com. Find it on all social media at Awake and
Aware.
Aware.
AWEAR.
Wearing it. You know what I mean? That's where you can find us. But you know, I just it's a brand, like I said, for the people. Everyone I ever met, everyone I've ever learned something from, they all have a lot to do with the establishment of this brand. So that's why I say, even when it's just me, I always say, in its habit, I always say we. I'll be there and I'm saying we, and I'm talking. I don't just talk about me, because I talk about me and everybody else without even knowing who helped me make this happen. You know what I'm saying? Who helped me solidify what this message was, what I am, who I am, and what I represent. You know what I'm saying? So it's a collective thing. We for the collective. You know what I'm saying? Like that. That's really what it's about. You know what I mean? On our site too, you'll be able to. We're working on a system. You'll be able to access tarot readers, psychics. You know what I'm saying? To also make it easy, a lot more accessible to people in the community who may seem it may seem a little far-fetched for them to go out their way to find someone who would like provide some spiritual guidance. But on our site, you know, given in the next few weeks, you'll be able to have access to some people, spiritual advisors who can give you any guidance, healing, anything that you need. As well as if you're an artist, we are starting an online art gallery. We would love to collaborate. We would love to showcase your art in any way possible. So if that's something anybody's interested in, you could shoot me an email at mike@awakenaware.com. Send me your stuff because we would really love to get that online gallery booming with a lot of people from the community more than anything. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely. And
that was a lot.
awakenaware.com. Y'all go please and look that up.
And one more thing.
Go ahead. Keep going.
December 10th, I am throwing my first event, you know, powered by We the Future. So again, they're probably one of the biggest blessings in my life during the season. So y'all would always hear me talk about it. Gang, gang, gang. You know what I'm saying? That's the people's. You know what I'm saying? I'm throwing my first event. It's called Cocktails and Poetry. You can find the tickets on the link in my bio on Eventbrite. It is a jazz-infused open mic, strictly poetry open mic. So you could come out, enjoy some jazz music, some signature cocktails, some hookah. You know what I'm saying? We're bringing back to those days where it was jazz and poetry. You know, it's like a grown and soulful vibe. You know what I mean? It's going to be at Mai Tai downtown Orlando. So we'll also be serving these full service bar, full menu. So you'll be able to, anything that they serve at the restaurant, you'll be able to order. You know what I'm saying? So it's gonna be a great vibe. It's my first event, so it's really exciting. That's December 10th. $10 to get in, purchase your tickets. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's everything.
And what's the name of the event?
Cocktails and Poetry.
Cocktails and Poetry, December 10th.
Poetry, yes.
Downtown Orlando.
At Mai Tai.
At Mai Tai. Please visit awakenaware.com. And I'm going to give you the whole screen. And when I do that, tell the people where to follow you. Tell the people where to follow Awaken Aware. And scan the room so they can see your Christmas tree. Here you go.
All right, y'all. So everyone, y'all can find me on Instagram, Spotify, SoundCloud, Apple Music at TripnosisTheGod. That is TripnosisTheGod. That TripnosisTheGod. I just dropped. Well, it feels like I just dropped it. Last year, I dropped a meditation album called Spiritual Expressions. Go stream that. I am promoting it heavy now. Stream it. I really appreciate it. It's a meditation album with the goal to kind of help you grow your meditation session. So the beginning track starts at like 6 minutes and ends at like the 5th track ends at like 30 minutes. So it's to help as you go through the tracks, you can sit through and see how long you're meditating and also kind of like see where you're increasing. You can follow at Awaken Aware at Awaken Aware. That's AWAKEANDAWEAR. You could also check us out at www.awakenaware.com. Yeah, y'all could also follow We the Future at WTFMVMNT because super affiliated with them. They my peoples, you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of open mics, a lot of things they're doing for the community, like meditation sessions. We got one going on tomorrow. Hippie Hideout on the 21st. It's open mic, so come up, pull up. Community 729 on Thornton. It's all vibes. It's all love. You know what I'm saying? And and then hold up, pause right quick. And I'm celebrating Christmas early as fuck because that's what we do around here. You know what I mean?
Yeah. A shout out to We the Future. I'm so sorry. I can't believe I fucked that up in the beginning. I always stumble over shit in the beginning, and I've spoken at a We the Future hippie hideout event, so that's why I'm literally ashamed of myself. So
that's at WTFMVMT.
See that right there. See, I was trying to give all of that, and I was fucking up.
I even fucked it up because I said NT, so that's why I had to like redo that and say MVMT so people get it right because that's what it is and what it be. You feel me?
And boom, there it is. That is episode 44 with TripnosisTheGod. Yes, 44.
I like that.
I mean, look at it. I'm shocked myself. Damn. So y'all, let me give this rundown real quick. Please subscribe on YouTube, Sweet.the Podcast. One word, no spaces, Sweet.the Podcast. And for my people that listen, this shall be up. I'm going to try to have this up by next week. That's on anywhere you can listen to a podcast: Apple, Spotify, Spreaker, Stitcher, Google, iHeartRadio, Pandora, Amazon, anywhere. Follow Sweet the Podcast on all social media, Sweet.the Podcast, on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And you can follow me on Instagram at will.the3rd and will_the3rd on Twitter. And thank you so much again for doing this.
Thank you for having me. I mean, it's been great. It's been a great conversation. So it's something new to me. I've never been on, like, I've been on somebody, I've never actually been on an interview. So this was a great experience. And I mean, it's something I'm always going to remember. So thank you for being a part of this. You know what I'm saying? It's been great.
It's been my honor. And I'll holler at y'all, and we about to be out this bitch. You stay on for a second. Don't you disconnect. But